Crypto dads, imagine being able to look into the future, not with a crystal ball, but with data, AI, and blockchain. You could know who's going to win the next election, when stocks are about to moon, or when Bitcoin could hit $250,000. Or you could bet on it and get paid, right?
Yeah, this isn't your uncle's horse track you're betting on either. Prediction markets are exploding. Billions of dollars are being wagered right now, and AI turning them from a nerdy experiment into a supercharged global forecasting machine. It's like Wall Street meets Minority Report.
And today we're unpacking the whole thing, what they are, how they work, why AI is the new secret weapon, and how regular people like us, yes, even busy dads like us as well, can get involved. Grab a cup of coffee or a brewski and come on, join us on Dad's Gone Crypto.
All right, so let's roll back a couple thousand years here, right? The first prediction markets weren't on a blockchain, they were in temples. The Greeks had something called the Oracle of Delphi. People would travel hundreds of miles, climb all the way up Mount Parnassus, bring gifts, and ask the Oracle big questions. Should we go to war? Will my harvest succeed? Who's going to win this battle?
And here's the cool part. The oracle, usually the priestess, would go into a trance and mutter some crazy, cryptic answer, and the priest would interpret it. Of course they would. That was the forecast. It was always right, but it influenced kings, generals, and empires. The oracle was basically the world's first market for information.
Now, fast forward to today, we still want to know the future, but now instead of smoke and cryptic answers, we've got data, algorithms, and smart contracts. Platforms like Augur and Gnosis were early experiments, but they were hard to use. Then came Polymarket, now doing billions in volume, where anyone can place a bet on whether something will happen. It's prediction as a service.
And then there's Kalshi. Think of it like a legal US regulated version of the prediction market. They just actually got the approval from the CFTC, that's the US Commodities Future and Trading Commission, to run event contracts. That means you can bet on things like inflation numbers, whether interest rates go up legally. It's the bridge between DeFi and TradeFi.
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges with prediction markets is figuring out who's right when an event ends. Did that company really IPO? Did the candidate officially win? You need something called an oracle, basically a data feed that tells the blockchain what happened.
Enter AI. Instead of just pulling single news headlines, AI oracles can now scan dozens, even hundreds of data sources. They check the timestamps, they cross-reference multiple outlets and flag inconsistencies. For example, if one dodgy site reports that Bitcoin hit $100,000, but every other source says it's $95,000, the AI can spot the outlier and just ignore it.
And some systems even use natural language processing, basically teaching the AI to read news articles and decide if the event criteria were really met. It's like having a jury of robot fact checkers working 24/7.
And the Jensen new tool called Judge goes even further. It doesn't just collect data, it weighs in on the evidence like a real judge. If there's conflicting information, it looks for the most trustworthy sources, builds a confidence score, and then calls the result on chain. It's faster, cheaper, and less prone to human drama.
But, and here's the fun part, it's not perfect. AI can still get fooled by coordinated fake news or misinterpret sarcasm. Imagine losing a bet because an AI thought the onion was a real source. That's why the space is so exciting and risky.
Now, let's talk about where the money's flowing. DAI, or decentralized AI, this one is one of the hottest narratives of 2025. Projects like Bittensor, TAO, pay people for contributing GPU power to train AI models. Render, RNDR, lets you rent GPU compute for AI and graphics. And the ASI Alliance is pushing towards open source, decentralized, and super intelligence.
And then you've got prediction focused plays like Ozak AI, which gives retail investors predictive insights. On Near Protocol, Alpha lets users bet on which AI agents will perform best. It's like fantasy sports, but for algorithms.
And it's not just betting. Some of these AI agents are now fully autonomous, running yield strategies, hedging risk, even moving liquidity between protocols when they detect better rates. It's the dawn of what people are calling the agent economy.
Which sounds awesome until you realize your trading competition might not be a human anymore. It's an army of bots that never sleep.
Army of Tesla bots. All right, so let's take the break and let's talk about risk. First, regulations. Kalshi is getting CFTC approval, which is the big step, right? But many markets are still considering illegal gambling in some countries. One wrong move and your favorite platform could go geo blocked overnight.
Right? And then there's the moral side. Is it okay to bet on pandemics, assassinations, natural disasters? Some people argue that it improves forecasting and saves lives because markets surface the truth faster than polls. But others, like me, think it's absolutely disgusting and profiting off of tragedy.
Yeah. And don't forget manipulation. If whales can place massive bets, they might influence how markets look. And if AI oracles are trained on biased data, they might reinforce that bias. We could end up in a feedback loop where prediction markets doesn't just predict the future, it creates it.
Which is why transparency matters. We need to know what data these AIs are using and have a way to challenge bad resolutions. Otherwise, you could have billion-dollar outcomes decided by a black box.
So, how does the average dad get into this? Well, good news. It's getting easy. Polymarket's interface is simple. You connect a wallet, you see the list of markets, and you choose yes or no. If you're right, you get the mullahs.
And AI tools are now baked in. You can set up an AI agent that tracks events for you, like alert me if Bitcoin dominance drops below 50%, or place a small bet if ETH crosses 4,000. It's like having a quant intern in your pocket.
And for more on those placing AI bets, you can look at Supra's new technology. They're making that whole process very simple. You know, you have a wallet, you tell it what to do, it executes on what it charges you a fee, of course. But imagine it drops by 30%, you can quickly get out. When it picks up again, and vice versa. So look into that as one of our episodes links below. Also, guys, just remember, you know, this is still speculation. Never bet more than you can afford to lose. Check the source of data and don't let the dopamine hit, of being right or, trick you into doing something degen. It's hard when you're like, you get this godlike focus that like, nothing I do can be wrong. And you're betting more than you should.
Absolutely. So, why don't we zoom out a little bit here and look into the future? By 2030, we could see governments using prediction markets to plan policy. Imagine a market that predicts the probability of a recession, and central banks adjust interest rates based on it. Actually, I would love that way more than our current system of our human central bank, I think.
Yes, yes. Ryan, or we could actually see an AI run markers predicting disease outbreaks weeks before the World Health Organization issues a warning. That is powerful. It could coagulate all the hospitals in the world. They can still be decentralized, so they still retain the information. But once that virus is flagged as, let's say, a level 1 virus, and there seems to be popping up in multiple countries, they can immediately send reinforcements or shut it down ASAP. Right? Well, let's hope not the country again. But anyways, but it's also kind of spooky. Who controls that data? All right, because now the data is coming in. But hopefully, with decentralization, they can you can retain your information correctly. Otherwise, if a central organization controls all that information, that becomes very dangerous.
Yeah, in worst case, we end up with whales and AI bots dominating everything, regular users squeezed out, and prediction markets turning into automated casinos. The tech is neutral, and it's what we build on top of that matters.
Yeah, I think the problem is we're not whales yet, right? So we're blaming them, but when we're whales, maybe we delete the sentence and move on. Well, guys, all right. Predictive markets plus AI might be one of the most exciting yet controversial, but it's the new frontier in crypto. The question I want to ask: do you think we are currently ready for it?
So, would you trust an AI oracle with your money? Would you let it decide who won the next election?
And what happens if your wife is called Oracle?
Oh, man.
We trust you, baby. All right. When the wife spends too much, please execute deplete wallet, drain wallet into safe
Order
accounts.
66. Order 66.
Yeah. And deny. I don't know what happened, baby. All right, guys. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please share. We're on our next goal of getting to 250,000 subscribers. We hit that 100,000 mark. We kind of pushed past it. Thank you all for the support over the years. But we do have a next target. And please get more involved in the comments below. Don't just watch on your TV. The next day, give us some insight and comments on what you're thinking, because that helps shape our next episode. And also, we respond to every single comment.
And hey, if you guessed we'd end this show with a dad joke, you win. What do you got, Sean?
All right. I've got a good joke. All right. At least I think it's good. Okay. So, how was the Roman Empire cut in half?
How?
With a pair of Caesars. With a pair of Caesars.
Oh, man.
Jokes are getting better and better.
Better and better every week. Well, I told my psychiatrist that I'd been hearing voices, and he told me, you don't have a psychiatrist.
It's dark. I like that. That's a good one.
Oh, boy.
That's a good one. All right, guys, and that concludes our episode for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.
Ciao.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.